So if you're a person who has awakened, after narcissistic abuse, then you know something that other people don't. You know something that other people don't, and you can see something that other people can't see, and you know something that other people don't know. Now, you see, for a lot of survivors of abuse, victims and survivors, many people have spent so many years in this abuse, and many people didn't even know what narcissism was. Many people didn't know the extent of these evil individuals. That is simply because at the time there wasn't any information out there. Let's get this thing in the hands. So there wasn't any information out there. Nobody was talking about these things. For the longest period of time, the only thing you used to hear was, domestic abuse. Somebody messed up with their family, destroyed their children, whatever, and, beat up their wives. And the only thing you would hear out there was that, people would attach this behavior, epidemic, to domestic violence. So for the longest period of time, people didn't know what narcissism was. But you see, as we have evolved, continue to evolve as society, and of course with the help of, internet and other, people in the medic field as well, they have finally figured out what this thing was called. Now we're talking about a very ancient illness, something that has happened. It's an epidemic which has been happening for decades, for millenniums. It has been for a very long period of time. Our ancestors suffered narcissistic abuse, many of them. Society has suffered narcissistic abuse for the longest period of time, but nobody actually had an idea what it was. There was not a name for it. Even if you go to the Bible, the Bible also one of the oldest books, you will still see that there was so many elements of narcissism, okay? But the only thing that was missing was the word. So they had another way to term it. Some people used to think it was normal. Some people used to think it was regular. People can do things like that, there wasn't any information. But with evolution, we have been blessed with the internet that finally we can understand what this whole thing is called, whatever they wanted to call it. Okay, at least we know people have called it a personality disorder, NPD. But you see, for you to be able to understand a narcissist very deep, you have got to live with one. So you have got to encounter those individuals. It is the only way you're going to find out what exactly is going on with these people. Now, one of the biggest shocker is waking up one day and realizing you have been involved with a narcissistic person. So it is a very life-changing moment because you don't know what to think. You are out there trying to, figure things out. You are like all over the place. Many people have even been triggered to have a spiritual awakening when they found out about abuse, narcissistic abuse. Many of them have personally, I awakened after going through abuse. And that awakening is what has actually set me free, including so many people around the world. Many people now know this is evil, okay? There's no more sugarcoating it, okay? Because when you talk about things like, that's a personality disorder, this person has got a mental disorder, something like that, it is easy to understand for somebody who hasn't been there, okay? It is something that they can swallow, they can digest this, an NPD or something like that. But The one who will best understand the narcissist is the one who has been involved with the narcissist, at least for the longest period of time. We're talking about years. I was 7 years. Other people was 20. I know somebody was 24, others 14, others 10, whatever. I was 7. But I knew that I wasn't dealing with, not only was I dealing with a human being, there was something more behind the scenes. I was able to figure it out. Not only was I able to figure it out, I was able to speak about it. Now, there is so many people who don't have the guts to speak. It's partly because they are going through the healing process, okay? Because you see, before you can be able to speak about this evil, you need, first of all, to give yourself some time to heal, because you need to heal out of that energy first, because it's a very fearful energy. So many people don't want to speak about it because of fear. So to be able to talk about abuse, you need to overcome fear, because you see, the narcissist has put you in that state of fear for a purpose. They have made you fearful of everything because they didn't want you to speak. And even if you spoke about it, they knew that nobody would believe you, because there is so many people who don't understand that this kind of individuals actually exist on the planet. So it has been something that has been playing behind the scenes, very secretly behind the scenes. That's the reason as to why you see when a narcissist is messing and abusing you, they're doing it in silence. So they don't want anybody to know. They will go out there and put on a show and smile around with everybody, do this and that. But behind the scenes, they are very evil people. Okay, these are zombies. These are energy vampires who have been leeching off of other people's energy. And the story goes on and on and on. There is millions of victims around the world. There is so many people who, even until now, millions of people until now, they don't actually know who a narcissist is, but they are actually sleeping with the narcissist in their bed. Now, there's a challenge as many truth tellers start to come out, start to heal, do some healing on themselves, and get away from these situations. And there is very many victims now who are starting to speak out. And speaking, your voice makes a difference, because you see, what you are going through or what you have gone through, you can best believe we're talking about a global epidemic. This is not only about you. What you are actually going through is something what millions of people, billions around the world are going through. Very many people are trapped in very serious narcissistic families. They have been brainwashed to follow the family norms, church norms, school norms, whatever, in any setting. Those people are trapped. So there's a lot of trapped souls in very many pockets of society. They don't know what is going on. They don't have any information. We're talking about trauma bonds, soul ties. People are blind, actually. So the truth is starting to be spoken, because many people are starting to open their eyes, okay? They're starting to awaken from this epidemic. But as you're speaking out on this epidemic, you also realize that a lot of these narcissists, whenever they come across this information, these people who are like talking out, the victims of abuse, who are bringing out first-hand information of what is going on behind the scenes. So this kind of information and truth, it will start making the narcissist's bubble very small. Okay, so it's like it hinders their operation, because that is what that's all they know. That's what they've always done, or no, since the beginning, since they was kids. That's the only thing they know, and they're not going to stop. But you see, the more the truth is coming out, the more the truth continues to come out, and many victims continue to speak. There is one thing I've told you guys: you have got to make sure you do speak your truth. Do not sit on your truth. Yes, it is going to feel a little bit shaky sometimes. You're going to feel like you are betraying your family because you have got a narcissistic parent. You're betraying your exes or something like that. You're betraying your pastors. But the truth has got to be spoken. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to narcissistic abuse, we do not take this kind of epidemic for granted. We need to make sure we start talking about this truth. Just say it the way it is. Even if you don't understand the spiritual side of it, say it exactly how it is. It may be something that you understand at that level of consciousness. It may be the only way you understand. Just talk about it the way it is, and let other information come to you. Okay, maybe at some point you might understand it's an NPD, whatever. But at some point, as the time goes on, you are going to figure out that there was more to that NPD that many people didn't talk about. Now, the world is becoming very smaller for the narcissist. For the narcissists, it's becoming very tight because you see now the awareness is coming out there, is getting out there, and narcissists are almost kind of like we are catching up on them, and we are making their operations very difficult. Okay, because you see, when you speak your truth, that truth may land onto someone who is in the other corner of the world. And it is that truth that is going to help them to set free. Okay, so you are also setting people free. So don't leave this work, this job for a few individuals who can speak. Make sure that you also put a brick on this journey so that so many souls around the world can get free. There is somebody who wants to hear your story. My community may be different from your community. You may have your own community. Some of you have got followers, tens, thousands of them, millions of them. You have got different types of followers all around the world. But you may be surprised that almost 30, 40, maybe 50% of those followers that you have are going through abuse. And the only thing they need is a message. They need to hear that message. So you guys have got to make sure that narcissists do not hold any power over you. That is what they have made you to believe from day one, that they are more powerful than you. But in reality, narcissists, they are very weak individuals, okay? They have that shell, they have that ego that makes them believe that they are powerful. They can do this and they can do that. But inside of them, you can see a very little kid. They are very young, unevolved, and undeveloped kids emotionally. And when you do speak, you create a way. So this is like you open some doors for some people. I've done my part. I'm still doing my part. You can also do your part in your own little way. If you do not have a platform, maybe you can, use your, your mate, just sometimes even just talk about it casually when you're with the people, your friends, or maybe somebody who is struggling. You can just talk about something a little bit. Don't give them too much depth and insight because they may not get you. But there is some things you can do. There's a brick you can lay to make sure that you create a world that is going to save a lot of souls from this kind of narcissism, okay? The narcissism epidemic. This thing is very intensive, ladies and gentlemen. It is very serious. Now, as you continue to come out with the truth, chosen ones, empaths, light workers, beautiful souls, as you continue to come out with your truth, you realize that you have a lot of resistance, okay? The moment you start speaking out, even as a black sheep of the family. So there will be usually a lot of craziness going on with your own family entire system, because for the very first time you're talking about something they do not understand, but now they are seeing that it feels like you're talking about them. So many people who talk about those narcissists and everything, they can be labeled crazy. Sometimes you might hear your father telling people that you're crazy. Oh, look at them, what they are doing, see what they are saying. They need to go and see a doctor because there's a problem with them. There's no problem with you. Guys, let me tell you something. There is no problem with you. It's just because you have started talking about your truth. And there is people that are involved in that situation that have been a part of the problem. And the more you speak, the more the narcissists get exposed. And the more they get exposed is the more there is some people around them that have been suffering for years that are also continuously going to get free. So your truth really matters. Do not believe in those lies and games they are going to tell you that you're crazy or whatever it is going on. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. So some of you guys have been have been made to believe that you're crazy. You have been even pushed to go to psychiatry wards. Start swallowing these medications for nothing. Some people will start telling you things like you're schizophrenic. They have all these terminologies and everything. There's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you may run into a psychologist or a therapist who is a narcissist. And they're going to come up with these terminologies, and they're going to plant that seed in your head. That's, you may be something wrong with your mind, you're schizophrenic and whatever. Now they're going to send it to these words to start swallowing all these medications. You do not need medications. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the narcissist who need medication. The only thing the victim needs is healing. You don't need medication. You just need to work on yourself to heal. And the moment you start healing, you're going to realize that you never needed any medication in the first place. The only thing you needed was to understand what the truth was and work on it to heal yourself. So, like I've said, the truth tellers, it is not so easy to speak about the truth, because you're hitting at your family members, you're hitting at your parents, you're hitting at your ex-spouses, you're hitting at your friends, and you're simply standing in your truth to speak exactly about this epidemic, exactly how it is, without sugarcoating it. So you should be able, ask God to give you to open your hearts and open your throat chakras, that you can have the ability and the power to speak about this, because it's very difficult. When you're talking about these kind of spiritual things, it is one of the most difficult things to talk about, because sometimes you can feel like you're gaslighting yourself. You can feel like maybe you're talking about something you're not sure of. It's because it's a spiritual illness. It is something that is spiritual, and sometimes so many people around the world do not even understand these spiritual matters. And most of the time, you're even talking to the problem. You're telling the problem, you're telling the people who are the problem themselves. That is the reason why they are gaslighting you, for you to believe you're crazy, or for you to believe that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, ladies and gentlemen. Your eyes have just opened and you know what the truth is, and you're choosing to speak your truth. So make it, put a foundation as well. We have started this foundation as well. Put another foundation, put another brick to the foundation, and spread out your truth. Let people know what is going on. In that way, you're going to save a lot of people from pain and from hurt. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video resonates. Let us know what you think about this video in the comment section. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. You can book a session with me if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzamos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.